Live post presented by Doug again. Started from our Valley Sports Studios here in Fort Lauderdale. You just watched the game and saw much of what happened. Miami right in this game again. A couple things, though, clearly are going to stand out. We're going to talk about over the next half hour or so. The second chance opportunities. And the second night, you told me yesterday as we were prepping, or today as we were prepping, from, about talking about yesterday's game. You hate playing these games where you have stars like Luka and Shea in big moments. You know they're going to make shots like this, and each night we saw a little of it. Yeah, I mean, it's elementary, but total bummer. These are the types of games that, as a player, afterwards, you go watch the film and you go, I thought I was in rebounding position, but I just didn't hit. Or, and all those little plays add up. And that's what happens. I thought Miami came out great. I thought Jimmy, 2 assists short of a triple-double on a second night of a back-to-back. You held Oklahoma City almost under all their averages. Like, you checked so many boxes. It came down to just a couple little extra efforts. And it's unfortunate because it happened 2 nights in a row now for Miami, where these are tough games on the road, and they put themselves in the position to win both of them. Yeah, it is strange, too. It's one thing to lose 2 games. It's to lose both in eerily similar fashion with second chance opportunities, those extra hustle plays, and, of course, the superstars making big shots. Let's go to the third quarter where we're going to start. The Heat come out of the half. They're up 14. They're feeling good. And you knew a run would come, Amy, and you said it as we walked up the set at halftime. Look, they're going to make a run. You just got to punch back. This wasn't just a run. This was just what was it? That's what got the crowd into it. It gets Shea going. It gets the whole team back into this game, and so that's unfortunate. It's the runs, and then it's just, listen, they're going to go on, a couple holes, but you got to be able to score a little bit. It can't be 14-0 run, 17-0 run, and that was tough. Actually, to the game summary, that third quarter, to your point, I mean, 30 is a big number, but it's not insurmountable. But as you referenced, when you only score 16, it certainly changes what was a close game and a Heat lead into a deficit into the fourth quarter. So, you got the turnovers you see there, the 6 turnovers for the Heat in that third quarter alone, as Amy referenced, after 5 in that first half. All right, those turnovers right here, my insurance attorney, defensive plays of the game by the Thunder. Getting to the loose balls, getting the defense going. I mean, these kind of plays just changing things. And I got to say, I understand that Oklahoma City is one of the better teams defensively in the league, right? Deflections and all that. But when you look at some of these, Will, they are unforced. I'm not going to give the credit all to Oklahoma City. I mean, stepping out of bounds, you just slip, the ball slips out of your hands. You're kind of making a pass to nobody. Those are unforced. Like, those are, again, Miami's going to watch this film, and it's frustrating because it's kind of like, what was I looking at there, right? Because when you watch the film from a different kind of lens, you go, oh, it's just these little plays, but they stack up, and it costs you a big game on the road. And you got the 2 superstars we referenced in the last 24 hours, Luka last night, Shea tonight. In similar fashion, making shots that you sit there, you think you're playing good defense, and you're not, because they're making shots, and you just kind of throw your hands up in the air. But what was so impressive about SGA tonight when he got rolling, that he just sort of started to take over this game? I think he's going to be one of the best players in the league for a long time. This is not a fluke. I mean, he is, again, I've said it before, I think he has a case for an MVP season. You have to sacrifice something against him, right? And it's pull-up jumpers. I think you sacrifice pull-up jumpers to most really good players, right? And I thought a lot of times it was Caleb, it was Haywood that were in position, but it's good defense, it's better offense. The guy makes the shots. Now, those are the ones you can't live with, right? The slick, straight line drives right down the middle of the rim, because in the first half, I thought they did a really good job of showing layers to him, if that makes sense. Yes, he's going to get into your second or third layer. They met him with bodies. They were physical. In the second half, as expected, he kind of woke up a little bit more and was able to self-create, and you had to keep him under his averages, and the averages is 31 a game, and he's pretty efficient, and these were a little above his average, so that's a tough one for Miami. You're a straight-up player of the game. Yeah, he averages, what, 31, 6, and 6 or so? You got 37, 5, and 6. I mean, he's just a special player.
And as you referenced, the Heat, for some of the night, were doing a great job. But then in that second half, as the Thunder got back in it, and then the fourth quarter closed it out, he was a huge part of the equation. All night long, a huge part for Miami was Jaime Jaquez Jr. And that's why games like this, you look at it and you see a night where Jimmy starts to come around in the second half and almost has a triple-double. Bam struggles, just 1 of 9, 5 points. You get Jaime Jaquez Jr. off the bench, giving you that type of production after Patty Mills gave you good production in the first half. These are the kind of nights that I don't want to call it a wasted effort, because obviously it was great, but when he plays like that, you really want to finish off that game.
Yeah, and for Jaime, when he comes off the bench, it's rebound, stops. When he has his hands on that ball, go to the rim until someone stops you, and that's what he does so well. I think he pushes the pace. He's such a strong finisher at the net, and little pump fakes, like a little bit of an old school game to him, right? We talk about his feet, we talk about his ability to get guys up and get out of their stance, and we saw that 17 points in the first half. I mean, come on, that's incredible. And you knew that Oklahoma City was going to take that a little bit personally in the second half, so he still was able to get 25 on the game, but also 3 steals on the other end. Look at him getting into the paint. And by the way, I mean, he's finishing over, he's drawing 2 or 3 defenders in there. This was, we thought it was a 3, toes were on the line, it was a 2, but I just, if we're going to keep our glass half full on a lot of things, I think getting Jaime back to this.
It's the Jaime we saw most of the first half of the season.
And it doesn't, like, yes, you were on the road, you were playing one of the best teams in the league right now. It doesn't matter. I thought he was so good tonight, and that's going to have to continue. Doesn't matter if it's Washington, it doesn't matter who it is. He's got to do this.
He likes playing the Thunder, that's for sure. There's 2 games in his NBA career against them. 21 back in January, 25 tonight. Look at both nights. Very efficient three-point shooting as well, and the rebounding. Jaime Jaquez Jr. certainly playing well enough for Miami to win tonight, but unfortunately the Heat fall in OKC 107-100. Those points, Shea having the big game. So you got to think Eric Spoelstra, I would think he agrees with you. I would think he's not too happy. Yeah, going on the limb that Spo's not too happy with what happened, those second chance points in this loss to OKC. Here's what the coach had to say in your postgame news conference brought to you by Baptist Health, the official healthcare provider of the Miami Heat.
I mean, this is competition, and we're going to work together until we get this breakthrough. You know, these are painful moments. You know, we had an opportunity in both games, and you don't know necessarily if you can finish your defensive possessions, you know, with a rebound, whether you're going to win or not. But that is our hurdle for this moment in time. You know, we've rebounded great, you know, for the majority of the season. For whatever reason, this little pocket right now, it's been troubling for us. And, you know, the defensive efforts and disposition, you know, is adequate. I was encouraged by the commitment to do hard things against a very good offensive team. You know, if we could have finished off a couple more possessions, we might have had an opportunity to hold them under 100. And that's not easy in today's game, and the way they drive and attack, and the skill level, and they also can keep you honest at the three-point line. I thought the attention to detail, the physicality, the force, and the efforts were there. It just was very similar, you know, down the stretch. Looked like we had opportunities, you know, to secure the ball, but weren't able to do it. And you have to give them credit, and they also knocked down shots after that. It almost looked like a misprint. You know, we basically had the same amount of offensive rebounds. We end up with less than 10 points off of those offensive rebounds. They have 23. I had to look at it, you know, 3 or 4 times, but my gut felt like it was 30 off those 9 offensive rebounds. So we'll get better from this. You know, there were a lot of good things to take away. None of us want to talk about it or feel that or, you know, whatever, you know, right now, because we're competitors. But by the time we get back to Miami, even the head coach, you know, can see that there are some good things, you know, happening in our locker room.
How heartening was it for Jaime to step up and sort of fill in when maybe others were struggling?
Yeah, we really needed it, you know, because we put a lot into the game physically and emotionally last night. And that's not an excuse at all. Like our guys were ready to compete and put it out there tonight. But, you know, there wasn't a lot of juice, you know, throughout the rotation. But Jaime, you know, was able to give us a lot of relief points. And also during key moments of the game, we could throw the ball to him, kind of settle in a similar way that we were doing, you know, what we do with Jimmy. And that allowed us to catch our breath, get to spacing, and play out of, you know, their aggressive defense. And it also, says a lot about his mental toughness, to be able to have that kind of performance on the second night of a back-to-back.
And your thoughts on Patty Mills' Heat debut?
Yeah, that was great to see him finally do it in a Heat uniform instead of against us. We've seen that for too many years. You can see, why he's been able to do what he does. He's ignitable, he's smart, he's been in a lot of very good systems, so he knows how to fit in, even though he hasn't had to practice. 15 years in, it's all the same kind of stuff. He can play his game. He helps our best players. He was able to really help that unit we had in with Jimmy and Nico, and that's something that will definitely add to our depth.
Dan filled out the rest of the box score, was off with his shot. Was that something they were doing? Is he in a little bit of a funk right now based on last night and tonight offensively?
Sometimes these things happen, but he's a competitor. He knows how to impact, the game, and they're committed, to take the ball out of his hands, particularly out of the post. In the pick and rolls, they're switching, so he couldn't necessarily get him the ball in his sweet spots. So he wasn't able to get some easy relief points, and but he did a lot of good things, and that's why these are great opportunities to win a game on the road with your C game. If we're not at your best, that you can still find a way to win. We weren't able to do that tonight, and so we live with the loss. All right, thank you.
Spoelstra certainly knows the ups and downs of the season.
Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler continues to be a formidable force in the NBA, embodying the tenacity of the Heat culture on the court. Renowned for his unwavering focus, Butler stands out as a key player who can dominate any game against any opponent. Even Dallas Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd acknowledges Butler's mental strength, praising it as unparalleled in the league. Despite Butler's resilience, the Heat faced a setback against the Dallas Mavericks, succumbing to a 114-108 defeat. In the clash, Butler contributed 14 points on 6-12 shooting, along with 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. However, his usual prowess in drawing fouls was limited, with only 2 free throw attempts, falling short of his season average of 8.2 shots from the foul line per game. Looking forward, the Heat, currently holding the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference with a 35-27 record, brace themselves for another challenging encounter. They are set to face the formidable Oklahoma City Thunder on the road this Friday, aiming to bounce back from the recent loss and maintain their standing in the competitive conference.
Então, aí, vamos lá, polêmica. Vamos lá. O que vocês acham de trabalhadores de aplicativos? Trabalhadores de aplicativos? O que é isso, aplicativo? Trabalhadores de aplicativos são trabalhadores que trabalham para aplicativos. Então, Uber, iFood, Rappi, tem um monte aí, É que a gente, assim, nós estamos mais acostumados com o iFood e com a Uber, mas existem muitos aplicativos. Então, mas o que está em evidência, o que mais se fala no momento, é sobre esse tipo de aplicativos. O que eu penso sobre quem trabalha com aplicativo? Eu penso que é opcional. Porque eu nunca vi nenhum aplicativo correr atrás de você e fazer você se cadastrar para trabalhar. Você tem que ir lá ver as regras, como funciona, fazer o seu cadastro direitinho, tá? Então, aceitando todas as condições que você vê lá, porque você tem que ler tudo que você assina. Nós temos o hábito de pegar e já ir clicando em tudo, aceitando tudo, e depois a gente vai reclamar, a pessoa vira para você e fala, pô, mas você não viu lá no contrato, estava escrito isso. Aí você fica com aquela cara de maré pastel, assim como dizendo, pô, eu não li o contrato. É a mesma coisa que o pessoal que vem pedir informação sobre a minha plataforma e chega no site lá, no site não, a pessoa chega no Instagram, pergunta algumas coisas e eu perguntei para ele, mas você já entrou na nossa plataforma, no nosso site, tudo, para ver como é que funciona? A pessoa, não. Eu falei, então, meu irmão, não tenho o que falar. Você precisa saber as coisas, até para saber perguntar. Se você for perguntar alguma coisa, você tem que saber perguntar. Para você saber perguntar, você tem que se basear nas coisas. Voltando, então o que acontece? Você vai lá, faz e começa a trabalhar. Entendeu? Ai, mas eles exploram a gente. Meu irmão, quando você se sentir explorado, você sai, cara. Você não é obrigado. Ah, mas aquela é a minha única fonte de renda. Então agradece a Deus. Ou você não sabe o que quer, meu irmão. Então, tem cara da Uber que eu conheço, muitos, desde que conheço, que senta naquele carro, trabalha 14, 16 horas por dia. Nossa, velho, o problema é dele. O carro é dele, a vida é dele, a saúde é dele, o tempo é dele e ele sabe quanto ele precisa ganhar. Nossa, mas ele trabalha muito. Isso aí não está certo. O que é o certo? É o governo agora entrar e querer obrigar você a trabalhar só 8 horas. Não é, cara. Isso é livre mercado, cara. Cada um... Graças a Deus nós temos essa opção. Quanta gente... Meu, são mais de 1,5 milhão de pessoas que vivem disso, cara. Que vivem da moto, que vivem disso, pô. E o que acontece? Como eu falei nos vídeos anteriores, nada contra o governo atual, nada disso, eu sou apolítico, não envolve nada disso. Só que tudo que ele põe a mão dá ruim, cara. Dá ruim, porque pensa bem, cara. Essas plataformas estão operando aqui no Brasil, Só que elas operam porque é viável, porque eles ganham muito dinheiro. Sim, lógico, quem vai fazer alguma coisa para não ganhar dinheiro? Só se for retardado, cara. Tudo que você faz para ganhar dinheiro. Só que o cara ganha dinheiro e gera muito emprego. O cara gera, porque o cara está trabalhando. Emprego não é só de carteira sem emprego, é que você trabalha, velho, é que você ganha sua moeda. Que você vive, cara. Aí você está vivendo sua vida. Muita gente tem isso como renda extra. O cara que trabalha 12 por 36. Tem cara que trabalha 12 por 36. O cara trabalha 12 horas e folga 36. Nessas 36 horas ele pega o carro dele e fica fazendo Uber, cara. Ele tem esse fixo aqui e está fazendo outro salário para ele. Agora, o cara está fazendo um outro salário para a regalia dele, para pagar as contas dele, para poder sair, para poder comer sua pizza, para poder viajar. Aí vem o governo e quer meter a mão nesse dinheiro dele também. Não, pera, você precisa pagar mais um pouco, você vai ter que pagar INSS. Irmão, na boa. Então, nessa pessoa informal. Então, qual que é o risco que nós estamos correndo aqui hoje? De a gente ficar sem alguns setores do mercado, porque o que acontece, quando a situação começa a ficar ruim para quem tem dinheiro, principalmente para os super ricos que a gente fala, eles vão embora para um país melhor, cara. Eles não têm... eles podem até ser patriota, cara, mas não são idiota. Ser patriota é não ser idiota, entendeu? Uma coisa é uma coisa, outra coisa é outra coisa. Eu não vou viver num país, cara, por mais que eu um país, ele só quer me lascar, meu irmão. Ainda mais eu tenho dinheiro, eu vou para qualquer lugar. Eu pego meu dinheiro e acabou, meu. Hoje, para você pegar, você pega seu dinheiro e compra tudo em criptomoeda, vai para outro país, converte e acabou. Você não tem nem que ficar esquentando muita moringa. Tu tá entendendo qual que é? Então, o que nós estamos a perigo de acontecer é essas empresas agora grandes da pinote, cara. E se isso acontecer, é mais morador de rua, é mais desemprego, é mais... Porque daí o cara vai roubar. Porque tem cara que é o seguinte, meu irmão, eu estou trabalhando, mas se você me tirar do trabalho, eu vou roubar. Aí, meu irmão, que a coisa fica feia. Então, fica ligado aí no próximo vídeo, nós estamos aí para dar um toque para vocês aí.